And welcome back to another short edition of Blewett's Blitz. Jets obviously lose the game this week, but a few positives to take away. I asked you guys on YouTube if you guys wanted to see more of the negative, which there are plenty, or the positive from some of the young guys. You guys wanted the positive. Let's talk about it. We have quite a few plays here, so we're going to run through each one of them relatively quickly just to get through all of them at a good pace. So this one's really quick. Bottom of the screen, Mason Taylor has something like 30-ish catches, maybe a little bit over this year, and it feels like 75% of them have been contested. Here he runs what I call a snag, a hook route over the middle, and he sits it down. Linebacker, Field's eyes obviously take him to Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor makes a grab that is contested. And again, he's been doing this, pretty much all year with the contested catches. And it's not necessarily a contested catch, right? It's just holding on to the catch through contact, but not as easy as it always seems. And Mason Taylor has been very consistent with it. So just a quick one to start. Just wanted to shout out Mason Taylor for his ability to bring down the football through contact. On this one, first we'll watch Membu use a trap technique on number 90. 90 kind of just lays his hands out there a little bit early. Membu recognizes it. Obviously, the 90 is leaning into those hands a little bit. He's depending on that contact, but when Membu traps the arms down, chops them down, the defensive end is going to be off balance. That tight 5 tech lays down on him to prevent him from moving farther. So hell of a job by Membu, just being patient with his hands, recognizing that. Other young guy I want to point out, and I'm interested to see if the Jets re-sign this guy as tight end 2 or 3. Jeremy Ruckert right here, does a good job in pass protection in this instance, shuffling inside, right? Doing a good job getting the right hand inside, nice leverage into the block, engages with 44, who's I believe an outside linebacker, stays engaged. 44 tries to turn the corner on Ruckert. Ruckert stays attached to that near shoulder, drives it. 44 ends up on the turf. So good job by Ruckert and both Membu here in terms of blocking and giving Fields, enough time to get out of there. All right, another play from Membu really quickly. One thing I want to note is that Metchie chips this the end, and it's something that he was doing in Houston. There was times he was actually in line and chipping guys. So coaches have faith in him to block. Not the biggest guy in the world, but a willing blocker. So they obviously like that. Good chip by him, right? Membu, who then carries it inside, right? Just making sure it gets picked up. Sees 94 looping around as they run an ET stunt. 94 this time now kind of lays the hands out there again, traps them, chops them, and shoves them into the turf. Good job by him. You have Fashanu who lets some interior pressure because of a stunt up, but does a good job staying attached to it, having a good base, driving him, and eventually finishing the block into the turf. One quick side note too, I don't refer to this technique when he's just chopping down the hands as a snatch and trap. You can call it a trap. A true snatch and trap, but just for the people, when you're about to be engaged or already engaged into your chest, it's when you pop the shoulders. It's when you pop the shoulders of the defensive end up, and it creates some more separation, and he starts to lean into those hands, and then you chop them down. If you just chop the hands down, it's not a snatch and trap. It's just a trap to me. There has to be snatch and trap to label it that. So when people just say, snatch and trap technique when he just chops down the hands, that doesn't fit to me. So just a little, side note there. Obviously, awesome play by all of those guys. All right, we're going to highlight some A.D. Mitchell plays, some of the good, some of the bad here. This is the first play on 3rd and 6 in the red zone where he wins against this corner. He uses skip footwork, but it's like a skip squirt release. Squirt release is just 3 hard steps outside to sell the corner that you're going vertical to the outside and undercutting them. And then the skip is just kind of not taking a full stride, and he raises his shoulders right here. So we'll watch the skip into a squirt release for him. Okay. Wins inside easily on that slant. So skip step right there. Okay. But overall, it's 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Hard knot outside. Corner bites on it. Crosses the face easily on the slant. Easy win for A.D. Mitchell. I believe his first catch as a Jet right there. Right. The deep drop. A.D. Mitchell at the top of the screen. Obviously does a good job right here. Just straight speed. He used the speed release to the outside. There's no footwork there, anything like that. That's worth highlighting. On a stutter go. Obviously great speed. Christian Gonzalez, one of the better corners in the NFL. Bites on the stop part of the stop and go. A.D. Mitchell. A throw that's not perfect by Justin Fields. We obviously have to acknowledge that, right? Because when A.D. Mitchell has to slow down for the ball like he does, it's not perfect. If he was led here, it's probably a touchdown, assuming he catches it. The ball is a little bit outside for A.D. Mitchell, and he goes to track it. He misjudges it a little bit just based on where his hands end up on this catch. Just play a little bit slowly here. Okay, he gets one hand on the ball, but not even two, so I don't think he tracks it overly well there. But listen, he dropped, I believe, 4 passes all of 2024 And all through his career, he hasn't had, I'm not going to say the best hands. He's not Larry Fitzgerald, but he doesn't have bad hands where you have to worry about him. Watch the bottom play again. It's just an example of, hey, he could do this. It's not that severe. Again, 4 drops in all of last year with the Colts. Play really quickly for you guys. Emphasize my point that he can make these catches and a catch over the football. So let's not write him off after one game. Again, the drop problems have never been as severe as they were in this one instance with the Jets in his first game. Last play of Metchie, top of the screen right here again against Christian Gonzalez, one of the better corners in the NFL. Uses a hop step release, right? Gather step at the jump, right to right. Just because he wants to explode off that right foot to the outside, but he also wants to close some ground to threaten the corner, but he also doesn't want to take right stride, left stride, right stride, because he's going to be too close into the corner. He wants to close some ground, but not that much ground. So he uses a hop step off the line of scrimmage, releases to the outside. And if Fields were to lead this towards the back pylon of the end zone, and obviously, again, assuming a catch, it is a touchdown because he stacks Christian Gonzalez, and he's the type of dude where even he's leaving and he's stacked. So there's no way Christian Gonzalez is going to be able to catch up here if it's a well-timed ball. I'll talk about this more in the full review. Trust me, there's plenty of reasons to kill Justin Fields. When Justin Fields decides to throw this ball, what he sees is them about, with Christian Gonzalez with slightly more down the field than him, and he sees open grass to the sideline. So he's expecting, Mitchell to expect a back shoulder ball based on when Christian Gonzalez is. Obviously, if they were in sync, that would be the case where maybe he pushes off Gonzalez, fades out, grabs that ball back shoulder. But again, it's just a timing thing. They're not on the same page. He has to trust that AD Mitchell with this leverage is going to win vertically. He doesn't, and we have the little bit of a miscommunication there when he's trying to throw that, more back shoulder, even though, trying to throw it back shoulder, it should be more back shoulder than it even is. But that's the thought there from Justin Fields. But I'm still going to take that from AD Mitchell in terms of beating Gonzalez now. I'm assuming he thought the ball was going to go over his head, so he probably finds it a little bit late. Ideally, he fights back for the ball there a little bit better, a little bit harder, really throws on the brakes and maybe forces the illegal contact, the DPI. But obviously it doesn't happen. But still, there's some definitely positive signs from AD Mitchell in the first game. Quick one from Will McDonald here, who's made some more plays in the run game this year, at least more flash plays. He's going against Campbell right here and does a good job of obviously noticing this set from Will Campbell, right? Campbell comes off the ball earlier than McDonald does. He's a little bit late off the ball. Notices, okay, he's working towards me. It's most likely going to be a run. Runs the feet, right? Short strides, just runs the feet, allowing quick change of direction. Campbell sits a little bit inside. Feet don't follow him with the block as well as they should. Again, McDonald recognizes that. Recognizes the run block, rips the arm, bends, some power through that bends, flattens out, finds the running back, and initiates the run stop right there. So great play by Will McDonald in the run game. All right, the very next play after the run stop for Will McDonald, he forces the hold on Will Campbell on this play. And Will Campbell actually does a relatively good job there in terms of his feet. The stem of Will McDonald's a little bit more aggressive in terms of going right at Campbell. And this step right here, this nod to the inside, that hard jab to the inside, just locks that right foot of Will Campbell in the ground for just an extra like quarter of a second, which doesn't allow him to get outside as well as he wants to. Will McDonald and he actually gets relatively good hand placement here. Will McDonald does a good job though of ripping that arm upwards. Again, you want to get it about on the elbow level and rip up as high.
Does he have tickets to the gun show?
High as you can, because obviously, when a offensive lineman has a nice tight arm on your chest, it's a very strong position to be in. But that elbow gets lifted up. You're lifting the hand off of the chest. So the hand then goes around the neck because of Will McDonald's rip move, and he forces a hold on this play. So another great job by Will McDonald. All right, a little bit more than halfway through. 3 plays left. Just want to remind people, JoeRB31 on Twitter. I've been posting a ton of plays from each game, quarterback reviews, AD Mitchell plays. Metchie review is coming out very shortly as well. So stay tuned for that. JetX, $5 a month to get all the great articles, $3 a month for just the YouTube if you want just the full versions of these type of reviews. That's it. Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Helps us out. Appreciate you guys sticking around through all the trash that has been the Jets the last 15 years or so. All right, JJ's turn to make an appearance on the review. They motion over Hunter Henry right here. Jermaine Johnson comes off of the ball, comes off the ball, obviously recognizes that, hey, Hunter Henry is picking me up. He's staying a little bit heavier to the inside. One hard jab at him, forcing the hands to shoot from Henry. Johnson knows he's going to shoot his hands when he closes a little bit of ground, right? He's not an offensive lineman. He's not going to have very patient hands or anything like that. So times it, explodes to the outside off the right instep, double swipe, arm over to clear himself, right? Because if he doesn't arm over, his head's gonna be, or he's gonna be kind of stuck where Hunter Henry can just lean into him, but that arm over clears himself. You just gotta be careful that you don't get caught in the armpit or the ribs, because you're going to be a little bit higher in your leverage as you're trying to go over top of him. So it has to be timed well. He times it well, bends, finds Drake May, brings him down for a sack. Malachi Moore making an appearance right here, top of the screen. They're running quarters to the top. So you got this DB with the one vertical, anything vertical past 10 to 12 yards. For the number 2 right here, you have Moore, who's basically going to play it like it's in man coverage. So the tight end, the Y tight end, releases up the field, right? He sees him start to bend the route inwards. Nice and patient with the feet. You can see him just staring at the tight end right there, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. Okay, takes the route. It's going past 10 yards here, so he drives down on it, drives down the route. Good angle to the route, right? He's not going to where he is. He's going to where he's going to be. So excellent job there by Malachi Moore. Times it, punches through the hands, gets the pass deflection. Very good play from Malachi Moore. Slow playing it, right? Good leverage. Seeing the route bend inside, exploding on it at a good angle, timing it, playing through the hands, pass deflection. Excellent breakup for Malachi there. All right, last play. We got a John Metchie sighting. Again, check out the full review that should be out. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday. We'll have a Metchie review out there, so look out for that if you want. Here he is in the slot. Does a good job on his over route of creating some separation, quite a bit of separation there. Does a good job, right? He takes the route inside, right? He doesn't want this DB to get inside leverage on him, so he's going to stem it inside right off the bat, but doesn't want to just continue on the same track and just let this DB kind of jet stream him and just play on that hip. So what he does is, as he closes some ground, he uses what I like to call a pressure step, just one step at him. Just holds the DB for a quarter of a second, freezes the feet, just threatening, maybe him going vertical or outside. So nice pressure step, break inside, and look what he does to clear himself. This is the most important part of the route, is that he chops down in that arm, and you can see it throws the DB off balance, right? Because the DB is trying to get that hand on to slingshot himself onto the route, but Metchie chopping that arm clearly affects the balance. He then obviously continues on the over route, makes the catch for a decent chunk gain from Metchie. So good job by him, good route. There is your short review of some of the positives of the guys who are going to be here for the next, at least next season for the Jets. And hopefully these guys could build upon this type of play. I appreciate you guys. Check out the full review. Again, $3 a month if you want just those reviews. I'll catch you soon.